Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, our listener is on a pretty specific mission. We're trying to distill the concrete steps, the actual techniques that move you from just knowing the grammar to, speaking naturally, fluently. So we've taken a really comprehensive guide for language learners, and we're ready to pull out the actions that make the biggest difference.
Yeah, and what's so interesting is that fluency isn't this huge academic mountain to climb. It's really built on simple, everyday things that you can start doing immediately. So while we're going deep on the structure of practice, what we're really looking for are those aha moments, the ones that unlock your confidence.
Okay, let's get into it. We're starting right at the foundation with the one thing that stops more progress than anything else.
Exactly. When you look at learners who succeed, there's a clear pattern. It's not grammar mistakes holding them back, it's fear.
The fear of making those mistakes.
Right. If you're waiting for perfection before you even open your mouth, you'll never start. Fluency is really a performance skill, and it's rooted in confidence first.
That feels like such a critical shift in perspective. If you pause for 5 seconds to find the perfect word,
You've lost the moment.
you've lost the moment and you've cost yourself that practice. So our guide outlines 4 key mindset shifts to get over this. The first one is, it's the foundation. Don't be afraid of mistakes. They're not failures. They're just signs you're pushing yourself.
And the second one is a little more internal, but it's so important. Start thinking in English.
What does that actually look like?
It's like an internal narrator. You're walking to the kitchen, so you think, I'm walking to the kitchen. You're planning your day. You try to do it in English in your head. It stops your brain from always translating.
It cuts out the middleman.
Exactly. The third shift is focusing on progress, not perfection. Small daily improvements add up to way more than one perfect grammar session. And the last one ties it all together. Talk even when you're not sure. Speak first, fix it later. Just keep the conversation flowing.
And the guy has this great example for that. The situation we've all been in where you can't remember a word like refrigerator.
Right, you just freeze.
Instead of freezing, the fluent response is to just describe it with the simple English you already have, the cold box where we keep the food.
It's resourceful.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. And I want to kind of play devil's advocate for a second. I get the idea. Don't fear mistakes, just talk. But what if I keep saying I is happy over and over? By prioritizing speed, aren't I just reinforcing a bad habit? How do we balance that with needing to be accurate eventually?
That is a fantastic and a really necessary question. The idea is that your first goal isn't accuracy, it's automaticity. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. At first, you're just focused on moving, on not falling over. You're not thinking about perfect form. So when you say the cold box, you're actually practicing a really high-level skill called circumlocution. You're problem solving in real time. The accuracy part comes later, in more focused study. Once your brain is comfortable performing in English, it's much easier to go back and fix the grammar. You tackle the fear first, then the flaw.
That makes a lot of sense. If you hold back, you never even get the chance to practice being resourceful.
And that resourcefulness is built through consistency. I mean, this is a core finding. 10 minutes a day, every single day, is so much more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Fluency is something you grow, not something you just install.
It's a habit. So let's break down those habits. The guide offers a few really powerful micro habits you can start right now. I'm seeing a couple that are based on talking to yourself and a couple that force you to record your output.
That's right. For the self-talk, you have mirror speaking, literally just talking to your reflection about your day. And the other one is describing your actions in real time. You're making coffee, so you say out loud, I am grinding the beans, now I am pouring the water. It directly trains those simple, high-frequency verbs.
And then you have the ones that force you to actually produce something, like the voice recording habit. Just record yourself for 30 seconds on your phone every day.
And listening back is such a powerful tool. You hear your own patterns. Then there's the daily question method. You just answer one specific question each day. It takes away the pressure of what do I talk about? And finally, to build immersion, you create an English corner. One activity like checking the news or sports scores that you only do in English.
So we have the output habits. But the guide makes a really critical connection here that I think a lot of learners miss. The secret to speaking better is often getting better at listening first.
Oh, absolutely. You can't produce a sound you can't first hear correctly. Listening teaches you rhythm, tone, how words link together.
And the key technique for this is something called shadowing.
Yes. This is where you listen to a short sentence and you immediately repeat it. You're not just repeating the words, you're trying to mimic the intonation, the speed, the stress, everything.
And the example sentence they give is a good one to practice with. English becomes easier when I practice every day.
Right. When you shadow that, you're not thinking about the grammar. You're training your mouth muscles to match the flow of a native speaker. It pushes you away from that slow, word-by-word translation in your head.
And what about chunk listening? That sounds a little different. How do you do that?
Chunk listening is more analytical. You take a short audio clip and break it into small phrases or chunks. You listen to one chunk, pause, and you ask yourself, what did they say and how did they say it? You're listening for the structure, not just the meaning.
Okay, so it's more like dissecting the language.
Exactly. And you should also practice listening at different speeds. Start slow, then normal, then fast. It trains your brain's flexibility. And of course, the subtitles method. Only use English subtitles. It forces that direct sound to meaning connection.
So once you've built the confidence and the habits, what are you actually filling your speech with?
Yeah.
Let's talk vocabulary. We've all met learners who know tons of advanced words but can't, have a simple conversation.
Right, and the guide confirms that. Conversational flow isn't about having a huge vocabulary. It's about having a strong everyday vocabulary.
And the strategy for that is key. Number one is learn phrases, not single words.
Yes, this is so important. English especially relies on collocations, words that just sound right together. So instead of just learning the word decide, you should learn the phrase make a decision. It instantly makes you sound more natural.
And it makes sense to learn those phrases in groups that are actually useful. So vocabulary for the bank or for the doctor's office.
Exactly. And to make sure you can actually use those phrases, there's the 3X rule. You have to try and use a new word or phrase 3 times within 24 hours of learning it.
It forces you to pull it from your memory to make it active.
It cements it. And this all leads to what I like to call fluency lubricants, the little conversational helper phrases. These are absolute lifesavers because they prevent that awkward silent freeze when you're searching for a word.
You're talking about things like, I'm not sure, but, or let me think.
Or even just, could you repeat that? They keep the conversation going. They signal to the other person that you're still engaged, even if you need a second. It turns panic into a normal conversational pause.
All right, so now we're moving past the daily microhabits into more professional structured techniques, the kind of things you might do in a language class to really force speed and smoothness.
Precisely. These are designed to bypass your brain's tendency to over-edit everything you say. And the star of the show here is the 4-3-2 technique.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics of this because it sounds really simple, but also intense.
It is. You pick a topic, let's say my favorite childhood memory, and you speak about it for 4 minutes straight. Then you speak about the exact same topic for 3 minutes. And then one last time for only 2 minutes.
So you're repeating yourself 3 times, but faster each time.
You have to be faster. Because you've already found the vocabulary in that first 4-minute round, the shorter rounds force you to be more efficient. You cut out the ums and ohs. You stop searching for words, you just perform. It's training for automaticity.
It sounds exhausting, but I can see how the gain in smoothness would be huge.
It is, and you can complement that with something called the information gap method. This is where you and a partner have different information. Maybe you're describing a picture your partner can't see. It forces you to be incredibly precise and descriptive.
And then there are the more familiar ones, like role-play conversations, acting out a scene at a hotel or an office, and the story retelling technique where you listen to a short story and then tell it back in your own words.
Which is great for linking listening and speaking skills. But none of this flow really matters if people can't understand the sounds they're making. Good pronunciation isn't just for clarity, it's for flow.
So let's get a bit technical on that. What specifically should you focus on for sound?
The first thing is linking, how native speakers connect words. We don't say want to, we say wanna. If you don't learn to hear and produce those links, your speech will always sound a bit choppy.
And what's next?
The second is stress. English is a stress-timed language. We make the important words louder and longer. If you stress every word equally, it's very hard for a native speaker to follow you. And finally, simple tongue twisters. She sells seashells by the seashore. It's like a workout for your mouth. It prepares you for speaking quickly.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, the habits, the vocabulary, the advanced techniques. How do you actually put this all together in real life? Where do you start practicing?
It's all about finding low-stakes environments. Ordering food is a great one. Meeting new people. But the guide highlights a really great low-friction tool. WhatsApp voice notes. Instead of texting in your English learning group, send a voice note. It's perfect for that 30-second daily recording habit.
And the key is that even just 2 minutes of speaking a day is better than waiting for the perfect 2-hour conversation.
Absolutely. The guide even lays out a conceptual weekly plan, like Monday is 15 minutes of listening and shadowing. Tuesday is 10 minutes of self-talk. Friday, you do a 10-minute role play with a partner. It shows you that fluency work is a mosaic of small, different practices, not one giant task.
And for the long game, it's about making English a part of your life, right? Change your social media language, read small articles, watch interviews.
Yes. And most importantly, track your own progress. Don't compare yourself to native speakers or other learners. Compare yourself today to who you were last week. That internal comparison is what keeps you motivated.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means that this whole journey to fluency can be demystified. The secret isn't some complex curriculum. It's consistency and mindset winning out over complexity. Stop waiting to be perfect. Embrace these daily habits we talked about, and fluency will come.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to take away. Given that real fluency requires you to let go of the fear of mistakes and to use these high-pressure techniques like 4-3-2, is the ultimate goal actually grammatical correctness? Or is it about developing a high-speed, unedited performance ability, the skill of communicative flow itself? If you redefine your goal as achieving flow, what does that change about how you'll approach your 10 minutes of practice tomorrow?